What is up, YouTube? Fluttershy RLC, and I'm here with another Madden 15 Ultimate Team video. And now this, I know I'm probably a little bit late on this, but I'm going to be coming to you guys today. I'm going to be telling you guys how to really build your, like, if you play MUT, I'm going to kind of maybe teach you a little bit how to build your lineup, or at least show you how I build my lineup. Now this by no means is going to ensure that you're going to do better in Madden or that you're going to win. This is just what I do, and this is what I think matters more when you play. So first, I'm going to take a look at the defense. So this is the first part that I look at, when I'm building my team. Now, first, you got to have good cornerbacks. So let's take a look at Alteron Werner. Yes, he's 5'10", which isn't very good, but you want someone that's good, that has a good balance in man and zone and press. Now, see, with man and zone, because you can't just sit back in a zone coverage the entire game. You kind of got to mix it up a little bit, because if you stay in one certain type of if you stay in one certain type of coverage, your opponent's going to pick up on it. They're going to test it. They're going to know how to beat it, if they're good enough. And another thing is height. Like Corey Graham, 6 foot. Xavier Rhodes is 6'2". Now Brandon Browner, I have him solely because he's 6'4". Now, if anyone that I'm playing against tries to face catch or they try to throw lob streaks, I know I got Browner there, and he's going to stop them. So now the safeties. Now, your free safety is definitely someone that you want to be able to cover really well. And you can see Clinton Dix, he's really good in zone. His man has a little bit to be desired, but he's got really good hit power, really good speed. He's also tall. And another stat that you want all your, especially a free safety in my mind, is catch. He has 85 catch compared to, Earl Thomas, 74 catch, but that catch definitely is, especially for your free safety. Now your strong safety, now this can vary. Now whether you do like to sit in a cover 2, if you like to stay in zone or man, then you definitely, again, you want a safety that's better in coverage. Now, if you're gonna, if you are in like a zone blitz concept, you would want someone like Troy Polamalu or Cam Chancellor or Eric Berry. You'd want someone that can come in and stuff the run. So if you're gonna do that, the key stat you want to look at is speed, first of all, because you want them to be able to get there quick. Also awareness, and especially play rec, because play rec's another big thing, so they can see if it's a pass or a run. Tackling is another big one, so they can get back there and they're not letting the running back get away. They're not missing tackles; they're tackling them well. And some more stats would be, of course, block shed, because you want them to be able to get off blocks if they're getting blocked by like a fullback or a blocking tight end, and play rec, of course, because play rec, so they can recognize the play and see what it is. Hit power, so they can just they can just lay the boom on people, possibly cause fumbles. So that's basically your secondary. Your cornerbacks, you want them to be tall, have a good mix of zone and man. Your free safety, you're going to want them to be really good in coverage, have really good catch. And your strong safety, depending on what you prefer to do with your safeties, you want them to either have good coverage or good tackling, good play rec, good block shed. So now let's move on to the linebackers. Now this is where you can kind of mix it up a little bit. Now if you run a 3-4 defense, then you'll have these two outside linebackers will end up blitzing. They'll end up or most times at least one of them will be blitzing, and then your middle linebacker will be the one, or your two middle linebackers, will be the ones that'll typically go back in coverage. Now, of course, the Ultimate Legend, Ray Lewis. It's going to be a little bit different because he's an Ultimate Legend, so you can see his stats are really just through the roof. But what you want with this, of course, speed, acceleration, so you can get back to coverage, and, of course, the catch. Now, Luke Kuechly, just a player that most people would have would be a Luke Kuechly. Not a lot of people have an Ultimate Legend Ray Lewis Boss Edition, but the Luke Kuechly sees 78 catch. Now, I know that might not seem like a lot, but for a linebacker that actually is very, very good, of course, you want them to be able to catch, because if someone is, like throwing out routes or they're throwing slant routes, they'll be able to get up there and intercept it, and, of course, be able to jump on the ball. Now, tackling, of course, your middle linebackers, if they're running slants, you want them to be able to tackle jump, again, because, so they can easily jump those out routes, those crossing routes, those slant routes. And, of course, with your middle linebackers, you want them to have good coverage. And you can see Ray Lewis, 92 zone, 80 man. Luke Kuechly, 82 zone, 71 man. So, of course, your middle linebacker is going to be your coverage linebacker. He's not going to be your blitz. Your outside linebackers will be more of your blitzing linebackers. But definitely, if you're for your middle linebacker, look for catch and coverage, and of course, speed and hit power. I mean, most linebackers have good hit power. So now you may notice I do have Luke Kuechly on the left outside linebacker position. But normally with a 4-3, he's going to be back in coverage, so it really doesn't matter. So your outside linebackers, it depends on what you run. If you run a 4-3, then they're going to be back in coverage. So then, of course, you want them to have good coverage stats, good catching stats. Like Khalil Mack, he's got really good zone coverage. He's got really good pursuit. So let's take a look at his catching. I don't even think I know his catching, but of course, 68 catch, not a lot, but for a linebacker, that's not bad. So that is your linebacking core. Now the linemen. Again, if you run a 4-3, you're going to have 2 defensive tackles and 2 defensive ends. Now, so in terms of like Von Miller, you want to put him there at the end, but really with your defensive ends, these are the stats you really want to look at: power move, fitness move, and block shed, and of course play rec. But you can see Von Miller, 100 fitness move, 94 block shed, 95 power move, or 85 power move, and then Mario Williams. So with your ends, you definitely want them to have good fitness, but you just want them to have good block shed in general. Now, with your defensive tackles, let's take a look at the flashback. Kevin Williams. So he's got good play rec, so he can detect where the ball is going really well. Of course, he's got good power move. He's got okay fitness move, really good block shed. Really, now you want these guys to really have good tackle, especially if they're like if you have like a run stuff type of defense, then you definitely would want them to have good tackle, because then they can wrap up running backs, bring them down so they don't really get ahead of you. So that's basically it. I mean, defensive tackles, it's just really just how good their block shed is and how good their tackle is. Speed, of course, Timmy Jerkins has an 82 speed, which I think is really, really good. But so now moving on to the offense, which I might make into part 2, but if I don't, then so the offense. In my mind, your offensive line, it's not necessarily the first thing you need to look at, but it's definitely the thing that you need to be sure that you have the best of. Now, I have the Ultimate Legend, Anthony Munoz. I'm not going to be keeping him, but for your tackles, you definitely want your tackles. If you're going to run off-tackle runs or you're going to run counters, you definitely want your tackles to be really good at run block and impact. Now, run block and impact block, really impact block is how long they can keep the blocks on, or how long they can keep the block. And then your center, of course, not your center. You really want to have good impact blocks, because he's going to have less time to react since he's snapping the ball, so he's not just automatically in set. Of course, your guards. If you're running counters and you have a pulling guard, you definitely want them to have good run block, good speed. Now, Mike Ipatua. He has horrible pass block. Now, he is a horrible pass blocking guard, but he is a really good run blocking guard. As you can see, he's got 84 run block, 95 impact block. Well, actually, we could do Marquise Pouncey, to be honest, but I don't know. But so really, your offensive line, just make sure that they have good block stats. Now, if you're a pass-heavy team, make sure they have good pass block. If you're a run-heavy team, make sure they have good run block. And, of course, you always want them to have good impact blocks so they can keep their blocks. And so now, the part that I think is really one of the most important is definitely your quarterback. Now, your quarterback really depends on your personal preference. Me, I like quarterbacks with good speed, good agility, because I like to roll out of the pocket a lot. So then this means that they can get out there quick. They can escape past rushers, especially RG3. He's got really good elusiveness, really good speed. But if you're a quarterback, say more like maybe like a Tony Romo, or like Peyton Manning, or you'd look more for like a short pass or just accuracy in general. So your quarterback, you want them to have good accuracy. Your throw power, again, it depends on the kind of offense you're going to run, but throw power is something that you kind of need, especially accuracy. Play action, I actually think, is a bit of an underrated stat. Play action, if they have really good play action stats, they can easily fool the people that your opponent's not using. So, if they have good play action, they can easily fool them, so they don't know what's going on. So then you can really get a jump on the defenders if they have good play action. So really, a quarterback, pretty simple. Make sure they have good passing stats. If you like quarterbacks that can run, again, I guess just make sure they have good speed, good elusiveness, but also you do want the throwing stats to also be there to accommodate. And the Common Warrior RG3 kind of does, but there's still a little bit to be desired with his throw stats. So that's the quarterback. Now the wide receivers, basically, for wide receivers, you all know the play Madden. You want them to be tall. Jordy Nelson, let's see, he's 6'3". Kelvin Benjamin, 6'5". Mike Evans, 6'5". Jeremy Maclin, 6 foot. Basically, if you're gonna be successful in Madden 15. It's probably going to be the same next year, but if you want to be successful in Madden 15, you want tall wide receivers. You can see Jordy Nelson, good catch. Now, of course, if you want tall receivers, you got to have good spec catch, got to have good catch in traffic, got to have good release. Route running and speed, I mean, of course you want them to be fast because they can outrun the defenders, yada yada. But I definitely think catch in traffic, route running, and spec catch, definitely in terms of wide receivers, are what you want to look at. You don't really want to look at well, and catch, of course, but like the elusiveness, I really don't care because they're not really meant to. I mean, they're meant to catch the ball mainly. Like, if they catch it, only get like 2 yards after that, that's really fine. As long as I'm getting the first down and stuff, then it's really not a big deal. So now, running backs, it really depends on personal preference. Again, like most everything does, but me, I like to go with quarterbacks that have good speed, good agility. Now, Jeremy Hill doesn't have that great of agility, but he's got really good trucking, really good carrying, good speed. Now, the reason why I love Jamal Charles the most, 98 elusiveness, 95 agility, 96 speed, 97 acceleration, but only 91 carry. I mean, not a big deal. But the point is that with a running back, it depends on what you prefer, but I definitely prefer agility and speed, but of course you want them to have good carry, good ball carrier vision, and you can see Charles has 95 ball carrier vision, so that's just really, really helpful. But again, but the carry statistic, it's somewhat deceptive because even like Bo Jackson, who I think has like 98 carry, he can still fumble a lot. So now, fullbacks, not much to say, really. Just make sure that they can block good if you're gonna run a lot. Now, if you're a pass-heavy team, I definitely would go after like a Marcel Reese, a fullback that can catch really well. But like me, I like to run, so I go with the tight end Donald Penn, because he can block really well. So now tight ends. For me, it's definitely speed, because there's not a lot of speed tight ends in the game. Now, Luke Wilson, this is the rising star, 90 overall Luke Wilson, that he's definitely got speed, and there's some stats that Amarillo has over him, but the speed is definitely key. Another thing with a tight end, I like to run a lot of out routes with my tight end, so definitely release is huge, so they can quickly get off the ball quick, so they can get off the line and they can do their route quick. Of course, route running is also huge. Catching traffic, run block. Now, if you're going to run the ball, like if you like to mix and run, or if you're just a run-heavy kind of team, then definitely a good run-blocking tight end would definitely be a good way to go. Levine Toledo, he's 6'8". You can face catch with him, but he's not fast. He doesn't have good route running. Doesn't have good release. He is better at blocking, though. He does have pretty good strength. So I mean, if you're like a face catching kind of person, definitely go with this guy because he's 6'8". He definitely can go up there and make catches. So that's my recommendation. That's pretty much it. I guess on special teams, you guys already know kick power pretty much. Kick accuracy, I mean, it's mainly just kick power. If they can kick it good, then that's really all that matters. Kick returners. Now, me personally, I like to put Anthony Sherman because he's a fullback and he can block, and so you can choose the certain kind of kickoff where you got your number 2 kick returner in front and your number 2 kick returner in back. So the number 1 kick returner will always get the ball first. So I put Anthony Sherman there so he can block for DeAnthony Thomas. It actually works pretty well. Instead of putting someone like Jeremy Maclin who can't block at all, and then I put Anthony Sherman who can block. He definitely gives you a bit of an edge. Third down back. Me personally, for your third down running back, you want a running back that can catch well. For me, that's pretty much just because because if you want to go on say you want to go on like a Texas route with your running back, just make sure they can catch the ball. So for your third down back, definitely pick a running back that can catch the ball. So anyways, guys, that's just about all the tips that I really have for you guys. Pretty simple, not really too hard. But again, if I were to emphasize one thing, it'd be really stock up your defense, especially your corners, your pretty much just your secondary. I would really beef up because this game is definitely a pass-heavy game. So anyways, guys, I'm Fluttershy. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned anything, if I helped you in any way, be sure to let me know. I would really love to hear it. So I'm Fluttershy. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out. Have a great day.